And I don't know, I didn't really get the chance to discuss it with our council either as to if she knows anything about siting.
Okay, so,
I think that that was,
so they're thinking of putting on top of a landfill?
right, so that was.
What happens if it starts to burn? The landfill?
Question.
Yeah.
I don't.
Because if you do get a fire,
Well,
of
that
contaminants.
is
it goes
one
for
of the
years.
spots We have been seeing the siting councils, that is a desired.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
Which one is?
They flew a helicopter over it with a heat sink and thing. That landfill and a Manafort landfill still on fire on the ground.
yeah.
Been there for 20 years.
Well, there's a lot of trash to burn.
That the ongoing burning, even if it never erupts out of the, like, the landfill
All
state,
that
yeah,
it'll collapse.
it's, everything's
Yes.
gonna collapse
Yep.
down, and the structures are gonna collapse with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, one of the things that is not taken enough advantage of is the whole purpose of the notification is there is a period under which you can pose interrogatories. And so you could ask these types of questions, like if there's a process by which you can get your questions answered about the use fundamentally, right? So, and we just don't see that happening enough. So we probably are still within that time period. So
I'm also concerned with
We'll ask the
changing
applicant.
our text because then we open up putting solar panels everywhere.
Yeah,
Having it being usage to the building kind of, kept it to big industrial properties.
Maureen, isn't there a municipal consultation process that's supposed to precede all of this? What happened to that?
whoa,
Well, I
who woke you up?
Get the interrogatories. I can talk now that we're not debating on issues.
discussed. So. I
He is
did
fast.
flag it.
I
However.
guess he is.
With
Joan, here's my
the new
secret.
application, I found out it's actually the New Britain property to the south of Deming Road, not the other.
Oh, I
It's both zero. It's zero.
Oh.
So I found out it was the other property, although it was discussed and there were several meetings on it with regard to the fill property. I'll call it the
Yeah,
New Britain landfill fill property, because the town, it was partnering to do that so that we got an advantage of some of that electricity. That was what was supposed to be happening with that and was being worked on with multiple departments.
Meter credits or something.
And yeah, I believe so. We had to do, our facilities had to identify a building that could benefit from the electricity generated and have
my
a
house.
specific balance with regard to it, so it would be benefiting now. However, this one, the permit that's actually come through is the property itself, so that was my next up. The, another one is on the south end of Chamberlain Highway, and what we were told was that if the abutters don't have a concern, with the intervention of the town was invited to a meeting. I I'm out at the time period of that meeting. But the assistant planner and engineering, I don't want to say participated, but, were present for that online meeting. And, there was, the abutters had no objection. So it's opposite the Butler Street. So the two ends of Butler Street where you go across and there's that berm and then it goes down, it's in that low level property that's there. In front is actually street side of that. So it's not the military experience site. It's not that site that is owned by, I don't know, some High Road LLC, something. It's the property closer to the road to it that was one of Better Up's properties. I don't believe he owns it anymore, but I think somebody else owns it. No, it's not the Carabetta one. It's the other one. The military experience items were going to be on Carabetta's property. This is one towards that's south. It's more of an open field, and so I'm just really concerned as to, well, one, I want you to know what's happening with them and whether the siting council will validate the town's regulations with regard to it. Seems to be a conflict. The reason I wanted to bring it to your attention. I'm sorry. And the regulations do allow for, a certain amount of screening and percent of the lot size, et cetera, whether or not the generation on the property is problematic as a regulation in that it all has to go back to the grid because that's the way they work. So that's my understanding. That's what I've been told by every bit of research I've done on it. But the way I understand the commission has interpreted it, for instance, when Tom's had them, was that the value approximates what they would use on site otherwise. And in this case, these are vacant parcels. They're working, that has the permit. So you saw that. And that, yeah, the permit has come through our office. I don't know that they've installed them yet. It was fairly recent, the permit. That's what I had. The earth contractors, there was at the beginning of the meeting, the solar fields and the, text amendment. Yeah, anybody who wants to send those in, send them in, because I'm assuming at the end of the year, I'm gonna need to be turning those details in. So we're just sending the invitations. If I see them, because it's not necessary that everybody has met all the requirements on both this board and the zoning board of appeals. Wetlands, I think, also has similar requirements. So we're sending blast emails. So if it doesn't apply to you, you can not worry about it. But at the same time, they are all professional development. If anybody finds a topic that they're then interested in, you might want to join anyway. This is fun. Not all of them. So the ones we've sent recently have been in person. Yukon Clear, I think, has been doing the in-person ones, and some of the other communities that have sent us the link, the information on their meetings. It's because their town set them up and they're inviting others. So, it'd be like if we set it up, you guys would probably want one in person, and you might not, but it's likely it could be set up in person, and you might invite Newington, the other area. Hey, you didn't do yours yet? Come listen to our lawyers, I believe it's every other year. And it has this particular component for affordable housing and for, what's the other module? So those of you that did the 8 hours should have met the whole thing. There was some conversation about meeting the full requirement of one of them, but I think it ended up, I think it's balanced out that it met it.
You should get a
Did you get us, oh, when it's expired? No, I don't think so. I think we have to monitor that as a town. As a town reporting for the, so it's one of those things on our list that look to see that our commissioners are in compliance, you know? Well, I don't know who attended, so I know who we signed up, but I don't know that everyone signed. I know, actually, I'm confident at least one person didn't attend. 8 hours, so we have at least Commissioner Daly, Zigma, Dorsey, Bailey, Rogan, you went to the 8? You did not, yeah. Okay. Millard,
initial training by January 1st,
Hamel,
every other year.
okay. And then Rogan,
1 hour,
Steve.
it's,
Did he do the 8 hour? Steve, did you do the 8 hour? Well, you can check with me this week.
so the last sentence of 8-4C subsection A says, such training shall include at least 1 hour concerning affordable and fair housing policies and may also consist of 1 process and procedural matters, including the conduct of effective meetings and public hearings in the Freedom of Information Act as defined in section 1-200, 2, the interpretation of site plan surveys, maps, and architectural conventions, and 3, the impact of zoning on the environment, agriculture, and historic resources. So 1 hour, affordable and fair housing policies. 4 hours. You only have to do 4 hours every 2 years.
Yes.
I mean,
It was at Aquaturf. It was a Thursday night at Aquaturf where we had the sort of family style meeting. We give awards.
All right, well, I will make the motion to adjourn.
Thank God.
Have a good night, everybody.
it's Steve.